Hey, good morning, church. Looking forward to our reading in Acts today. Today we're going to be looking at Acts 25. But before we do that, I want to remind you about what Brother Bob said yesterday about Felix. And Felix wanting to have a later time to get to talk to Paul. Bob, I thought that was a great call out. As we see, Felix never comes around to hearing from Paul again, or we never certainly see that he ever responded to the salvation. Also, notice at the very end of chapter 24, verse number 27, don't miss that verse where it says, and after 2 years, Festus succeeded Felix. So now we're going to Festus. He's next on the list. As Bob said yesterday, they're kind of pushing this trial down, but it's now been 2 years. Now, during that 2 years, Paul does a lot of writing, and that's where we get a lot of the New Testament as well. Paul is spending his time here in prison. But Festus then hears from Paul, and Paul, makes a defense of himself. He has his accusers there, and Festus comes to terms and says, there's no real cause against him. In fact, later on in Acts chapter 25, Festus kind of recaps this to King Agrippa. And so you went from Felix to Festus and then tomorrow we'll see King Agrippa. But in his recap to King Agrippa, notice what he says in verse number 19. As Festus is recapping with King Agrippa, he says, these people had some charges against Paul, and it had to do with their own religion. And this guy named Jesus, whom they said were dead, but Paul says that he is alive. And so this whole conflict between the Jews and Paul all relates around the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Remember, every Easter when we get together, we say the resurrection is what makes the difference in Christianity and every other religion. It's the resurrection of Jesus, and that's what we see the big struggle for Paul and the Jews are right now. They cannot come to terms with Jesus being the Messiah, the one that was raised from the dead. So chapter 25 is really just setting up the stage for chapter 26 whenever Paul now goes to King Agrippa. One thing else he did in chapter 25 was he made an appeal to Caesar. Now that's a key because he was a Roman citizen. And Roman citizens had the authority to, at any time, to call that they want to take their case to Caesar. And so that prevented him from going back to Jerusalem. So we also see that key in chapter 25. Anyway, I hope that you're enjoying the study of the book of Acts. May God bless. Everyone be safe. Look forward to seeing you tonight on our Zoom Bible study. Take care. See you soon.